Hi, I'm Mitch Gallagher from Sweetwater. Welcome to another installment of Breaking the Audio Rules. Nick Virgilio is with me.
Greetings, Mitch.
Good to see you, buddy.
You too.
Glad to have you sharing your drumming expertise with us today.
Thank you very much.
So we're talking about ribbon mics today.
Yes, great mics for recording drums, and they work really well in the studio.
But the rule is you never put a ribbon microphone on a kick drum.
Right, well, especially if you have a kick drum with a hole in the head, because the air gets pushed through the hole, and it's quite a lot of air, and if the microphone's right on the hole, you could damage the microphone.
Right, because you've got a very, very thin strip of metal that, in this microphone, this is a N8 from AEA, and the ribbon's about that long, about that wide, and about the thickness of a human hair or something like that. I mean, it's super fragile, and they have this kind of covering around it, this transparent cloth covering, to prevent bursts of air, but even like a vocal burst of air, or if you use this to landing planes or something to direct them into the, you might have trouble with that.
Sure.
So you want to keep airflow away from a microphone like this, and that hole in the face of the drum, man, it's a cannon.
Totally. And there's a lot of kick drums that don't have the hole in the front head, so it's a little bit different if you do have that hole not there. But most of the time, I'd say a majority of the time, there's going to be a hole in the kick drum head.
I put my hand down there when you were playing the kick drum, and there's still air moving off the surface of that drum head. I mean, it still is putting air out there.
You bet.
So one of the things you want to be careful of with a microphone like this is that when you're putting it 90 degrees to the airflow, see it that way in the camera, 90 degrees to the airflow, that's going to be worse because it's coming directly in. And so the idea is if you need to use it in a high airflow situation, you want to angle that microphone a little bit. And so we've got another N8 set up here on the kick drum on this DW kick, and we've angled it at about 45 degrees. Right. And we try to first up pretty close on the drum.
Right, now I think every ribbon mic's going to be a little bit different. There's a lot of brands out there, a lot of great brands out there, and AEA is definitely one of them. So this one, we had it closer to the kick drum because there has been times where we've seen other drummers do it. The ribbon is really close to the kick drum, and it's fine. This one, the AEA was a little bit, it felt the need to come back a little bit, and I wasn't even playing that hard. So just pulling the microphone back, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 inches did a world of difference.
Yeah, we were probably before at 45 degrees and maybe that far from the drum, and it just sounded like that ribbon was, I describe it as kind of caving. It was almost like it was
a little too much.
Flapping a little. Flapping in the breeze a little bit, which you don't want. That's going to be what's going to damage that ribbon. It'll actually stretch the ribbon, and then basically you've ruined the mic and you have to,
which is not good,
re-ribbon the microphone at that point, which is, like I said, not cool. So we've pulled back, so we're probably that far back, it's like 6, 8 inches. So let's listen. What we've got here is, well, you tell us what we've got here as far as setup.
Well, this is like a typical setup. I have a regular dynamic microphone in the hole, and which is typical, and then the ribbon microphone out front, angled like you said. The two microphones mixed together will give you that single kick drum sound. You get like the click from the dynamic microphone, and the ribbon gives you some warmth, some roundness, and a little bit of a darker tone. You put the two together, and it gives you a nice blend.
Right, that the AEA to my ears, we'll listen to it, but the AEA to my ears was kind of giving us a thud, not necessarily a thump, not a super low thump, but kind of a thud that really gave the drum presence.
Sure.
Why don't you play a little bit for us?
Sounds good.
Great, so let's listen back to what we have there. Why don't we start by playing the whole drum kit, and then we'll solo out the kick drum with the dynamic mic, the ribbon mic, and then the two of them together.
Sounds good.
So clearly this is an audio rule that you can break.
Sure. I've used ribbon microphones in the studio many times. You do have to be careful on the kick drum. Ribbon mics are fantastic for all kinds of situations, guitars, all kinds of things, and they sound great in recording situations. You just have to be careful on something that's blowing air forward like a kick drum.
Right, and the key is to angle it so that you're not getting that direct on blast of air out of it. But obviously it sounds fantastic, and it helps that it's on a fantastic drummer. Thanks, man.
Thank you, sir.
Right on. And thank you for joining us for another episode of Breaking the Audio Rules. Clearly this is when you can break, but please be careful when you're using your ribbon microphone on a kick drum. I'm Mitch Gallagher, Nick Virgilio. Thanks for joining us today.